For today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that affects me sometimes more than I wish it did. And that is the fact that pretty much all of us are criminals. Now, before you jump the gun and, tell me that I'm crazy, just give me a second to explain. You see, we live on this thing, this sphere, although some people think it's flat, that we call planet Earth. And on this planet Earth, that is this giant rock floating through space, on this planet we have drawn invisible lines. And you see, what these lines do is they define different places with different beliefs, different cultures, and also different laws. You see, in some parts of the world, about 10 to 15 countries, or certain parts of some countries, for example, in some parts of India, alcohol is illegal. If you were to consume alcohol or own alcohol, you would be doing an illegal act. And things can get a little ridiculous. For example, in Quebec, part of Canada, you can legally buy alcohol at the age of 18. But if you go over to the United States, you have to be 21 to buy alcohol. And the only difference is this little invisible line. But from one spot to the next, it becomes legal or illegal to do an act, meaning store owners who sell alcohol to 18-year-old kids can do so legally in Canada, but in America, it's obviously very illegal and they would be imprisoned for that. I hope you can kind of see where I'm going with this. What I'm trying to say is a lot of these laws, particularly the laws that are surrounding substances, which many people are made criminals because of having substance charges. There have been people that have been sentenced to countless years in prison for having a gram of, say, cannabis on them. All of these laws making substances illegal vary depending on which side of an invisible line you are on. In one state, you can legally have weed, say in Colorado, and then in another state, in Alabama, you cannot legally have weed. So from state to state, you are either a criminal or not a criminal. Now, my question is, how the fuck does that make sense? We have this social stigma that we put on criminals, that they're not good people, they're untrustworthy, they're damaged goods, they're people who don't obey the law. But what happens when the law is fucking ridiculous? Are we just supposed to blindly follow something that doesn't make sense? For example, why is alcohol even legal to begin with when it's one of the most dangerous substances known to man? When, as I've said so many times before, 6 people die every day directly as a result in the United States alone of alcohol poisoning. And yet, if you're caught with, say, a little baggie of cocaine, you're a criminal. But if you're caught with, 6 giant liter bottles of vodka, which could technically kill one person like 4 times over, you're not a criminal. When you're buying bottles of alcohol, you are technically buying poison. I mean, why is cocaine illegal? Cocaine is an addictive substance. It's synthesized from cocoa leaves. It starts its life as a natural substance, and then it undergoes a chemical process. Alcohol is distilled. Alcohol is not naturally as strong as we make it. We distill it to make it that strong. Just as a random comparison, what is the real difference between alcohol and cocaine? One of the differences that I can see is when you're addicted to alcohol and you're trying to kick the habit, the physical withdrawals can be so debilitating that they can actually kill you. Withdrawals from cocaine don't actually kill you. Why is one seen as, just a normal, fun thing to do in our society, and the other demonized? Wait a second. Did he just do that? Did he just compare alcohol to cocaine? No, he's not allowed to do that. I mean, my parents drink. People I look up to in the movies drink. Everybody drinks. Drinking's normal. Drinking's not a drug. Alcohol's not a drug. You can't compare cocaine to alcohol. That's bullshit. You're a good doggy. Good doggy. I'm a sheep. If we are going to allow alcohol, which is a drug, into our society, we need to allow all drugs into our society. Because what having this war on drugs has done is it has caused crime and criminals to really flourish. I mean, historically, the criminals that have made the most money are not the bank robbers, it's the drug lords. If all substances were legal, if all substances were made in a lab and humans were given, the right of way, the right of passage at a certain age to decide which ones they wanted to poison or put into their bodies, depending on how you want to look at it, then that would take it out of the hands of the criminals. It would put it in the hands of the government, meaning all substances would be exactly what you thought they were. One of the primary reasons why drugs are dangerous, and I've said this before too, is because you don't know where it fucking came from. You don't know how many times it's been stepped on, how many people have cut it, and with what. You really don't know. And half the time with things like ecstasy or MDMA, You think you're buying Molly, but really what you're getting is some research chemical. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but let's get back to the basis of why I wanted to film this video. There are times that I have a really difficult time running this channel. For example, what do I say to people when they ask me what I do? What am I supposed to say to them? Oh, I do YouTube. Then they'll ask, well, what do you do on YouTube? I talk about controversial stuff. Oh, really? Like politics? Yeah. Am I supposed to tell people that I'm currently making a living talking about drugs on the internet? Do you have any idea how sketchy that sounds? Say I'm looking for a house. Say I want to rent an apartment or I want to rent a house. They want to know what my employment is. What do I write down? Teaches people about drugs online. And the way that the social stigma is currently set up around people who are interested in psychoactive substances is absolutely atrocious. It is fucking diabolical. We are demonized for having an interest, at least people like me who say have an interest in psychedelics, or had an interest in my case. I don't know if the interest is still there 100%, but that's besides the point. We are demonized for wanting to access altered states of consciousness in a safe, controlled way for only, well, as what I see, noble, good reasons. For the reasons of wanting to explore the depths of our own mind. And we're demonized for that. But when I lived in New Zealand, as soon as 5 o'clock rolled around at my office job, the bar was open. The fridge, which had wine and beer in it, was open. So I could be at an office job and get drunk, but doing anything else, I would be demonized for. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. It makes no sense. And then you throw into the whole picture this invisible line thing, and from country to country, there are different laws. So in some countries, you could be a criminal just for having a drink of alcohol. And in other countries, like most of the world, you're not. Does that mean that everybody who drinks alcohol is technically in some way or another a criminal in the eyes of the people in the countries where alcohol is illegal? I don't know, they might be. How about countries or states that have weed as legal? Are they seen as criminals in the states or countries where weed is illegal? Maybe. It would appear that no matter what your vice is, if you have any interest in any type of mind-altering substance, legal or illegal, no matter what, somewhere in the world, that substance is illegal and you are called a criminal for partaking in its usage. I rest my case. At the end of the day, it would appear that our world is crazy. We live in an insane society, in an insane world, led by complete lunatics. If we lived in a world where everybody was focused on being healthy, on caring for others, on being responsible custodians of this planet, then this world would be a very different place. And a lot of what keeps me going is believing that we're headed in that direction, that slowly but surely, like the tortoise beating the fucking hare and winning the race, we are going to get there. It's changing as we speak. There is positive change happening. I believe this shift to viewing cannabis in a new light is the start of a shift to viewing virtually all substances in a new light. As long as we all band together, especially us who have learned and grown so much from psychedelics, if we band together, we can most likely in our lifetime see some real change here happen to the point where maybe I will no longer feel like I'm doing something wrong by making these videos. Maybe I'll finally start feeling like I'm doing a good thing. Because currently, if I'm talking honestly with you guys, I have my good days and my bad days. Some days it's tough doing this. It is not easy at all. It's really not. There's the social stigma. There's the stigma from friends, from certain family. There's a lot of stigma that is attached to me because I decided to do this, but not letting that stop me from continuing. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for weekly videos. A huge thank you to everyone supporting me on Patreon. I have mentioned that I don't make much doing these videos, and the reason that I'm able to do this full time is because of your Patreon pledges or donations, whatever you want to call them. So my hat is off to you guys. I see everyone who's pledging to me on Patreon as with me in this quest. You have gone out of your way to give me money to allow me to keep preaching this shit. So you guys are all here with me, and I love you for it. Thank you for the support, and yeah, thank you guys. Till next time, take care. I promise I'm not actually as depressed as I seem right now. I just wanted to get this out, and I hope it turned out clear and concise. Take care, guys.